Tonto dike finally reconciles with the husband. Hey, best news of the year.
Innocent prayer of the 10-year-old. At the beginning of the 21-day fast, and he looked at me and said, "So have you forgiven him?"
This is how the reconciliation happened. This is how it came to be.
And he takes communion to all the time. So my son reminded me and said, "Papa, at the first few days, he said, Papa asked us to write 7 things that we wanted and 7 things that we didn't want." And I said, yes. I said, write yours. And I told him, double it. Write 2 paper while I write 2 paper. So on one of the evenings, when I came to church, I think it was on the 4th day of the church, I can't really remember. When I came to church, I stayed behind to clean, and I was opportune to have dropped his own, mine and his at the altar, and I took the other one back home. Mind you, every other day we were praying with those papers, we were feeding his communion. My son was literally taking and feed his own communion. So, let me take you back a little bit. So, as a mother, I saw, when he gave me back his prayer points, I read it. Number 1, school, 2, football. They're just different things, and we got to number 6. And my son wrote, "God, I want the embassy to release my passport." And that's where the story comes. So you see, I have always told my son that his passport was with one embassy. I've never told him the whole truth, or I've never even told him the truth at all. And the truth was that the passport was with his father. And I and his father had been in a 10-year-long toxic demonic battle. And it's in public. I don't know who here who doesn't know about that battle. It is worldwide. It's illegal. So yes. So I sat him down and I told him, okay, when he told me, I saw it and I just sighed and I said, oh God, well, I left it. I didn't think much about it. Church, exactly 2 days later. How would you shout? Now, this testimony is the first period, the first week of the 21 days prayer, fasting and prayer, and it was a week of early answers. 2 days later, his father reached out to me and said, "I want to give you every document this boy needs, every document that you left with me." And for some reason, the Holy Spirit just told me, he's real, he's serious. Believe him. And I just took him and I believed him. And he asked a series of questions, and that question led me to know that it was time for me to talk to my son about who his father was. And the truth is, I tell you, before me, you, and God, I have never spoken a word, whether it was a bad word, whether it was a good word, about my son's father to him. I have never spoken about a man or nothing. In fact, he doesn't even know anything. So I sat him down one day and I told him, I said, "Have you ever wondered where your dad is?" He said, "Yes, I have. I've just never asked you because I just feel like you don't want to talk about it." And I said, "Oh, okay." And I sat him down and I said, "Okay, I'm very sorry for what I'm going to say. I really want you a little bit." He said, "Mommy, say, talk, you just kept pushing me." He was eating actually, very nonchalant. He was eating and he said, talk. And I was almost breaking down, but I knew I had to put it together with my child. So I told him the short story. I said, a man and a woman met themselves, they gave birth to you, and they became one. And he was like, really? I said, yeah. I said, we were so bitter, we were toxic, and in the midst of all of these things that affected you, and I'm sorry. And he looked at me and said, "So have you forgiven him?" I didn't answer. He said, "Mommy," because he's very authoritative. He talks to me like my father. He said, "Mommy, have you forgiven him?" And I looked up on my son, and my son said, "If you didn't forgive him, I have forgiven you. I have forgiven him, but I'm upset with you for not telling me. But it's okay, I can understand better now." And church, I mean, I'm telling you that this is 10 years of war, 10 years of public shame, 10 years without a boy knowing his father, 10 years of lack of love, 10 years of bitterness, of hatred, everything just dissolved in front of my child. And I found my child holding my hands because I was crying. He held my hands and I was just praying for his father. I prayed for that man. You don't understand, because I mean, presidents and ex-presidents have interfered. I said no because of how bitter I had been. I've come here to tell you that the first time I said that I will burn the bridge. If you are coming, I will burn you. it was not a lie. That was one bridge I bumped. That was one bridge I couldn't just stay. That was one bridge. I had so much bitterness and anger towards. Immediately, everything just broke down. Church, I see myself addressing my ex-husband as he should be addressed. If before I would have put one derivative sentence or something added to his name, I respect him now. We are talking like we are friends. I see myself forgiving. You see, the biggest testimony in this life is of a changed soul. I tell you, because I have peace that doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't, but God gave me 10 years in one day.